All right. Welcome to the Intellectual Idiot Show.
Wow.
I am
We got
down.
a sick one today. Max is sounding a little out of it.
I am down, and I am down bad. I will try to keep my talking to an absolute minimum because I sound like shit.
You sound like a man who just spent some time in Miami.
No, I sound like a man who's sick, who is down bad. I don't know how I got sick or when I got sick, but I started feeling it like yesterday, which is weird. Like I started feeling it about middle of the day yesterday, and then like it started to progressively get worse. It doesn't help that I was at a trade show either, where I
That's
was
what
like
happened to me
talking
when I was
all
in
day.
Yeah, that's what happened to me when I was in California, just with a bunch of dudes. Just came back a few days later, just felt like shit.
Yeah, I just started progressively feeling worse, and then all of a sudden you're just like, wow, I feel horrible. I woke up this morning and I like couldn't move. I was so achy. So I'm going to get the good old vid test this afternoon, and
There you go.
you're currently witnessing the downfall of Max.
Well, we're here. We're live. We're doing it. Before we start the episode, before we're gonna go into what we're gonna talk about, we got two breaking groins. Literally just came in from Woj just texted me. The Nets have parted ways with Steve Nash. They fired Steve Nash like literally like 2 minutes ago. I get the live updates before they come out to the public. So yeah, Steve Nash was just fired because the Nets have been a train wreck this year. But I don't understand why that means they fire him. I mean, yeah, it's a bad start, but
I mean, to be fair, Steve Nash is not a good coach. I mean, what has he done to make the Nets a better team whatsoever? They've gotten worse with him as manager.
Yeah, I mean, you would think that they would be, with the talent that they have, having Kyrie, Durant, all the surrounding pieces, you would think they would be fucking unreal, but they just have really underperformed. So I guess it makes sense.
Well, I have another monstrosity breaking crotch. TJ Hawkinson got traded to the Vikings.
Nope, that was going to be my other breaking ground.
The best tight end in football.
No, he's not. That's so wrong.
I thought the Vikings had Kyle Rudolph or something like that.
No, he's on the Buccaneers. No, they have Irv Smith. So they don't have shit. But yeah, I mean, the deal was Hawkinson and a third, I believe, for the Viking so the Vikings got Hawkinson in a third, and the Lions got a second. No, so the Vikings got Hawkinson in a fourth, and the Lions got a second and a third. So basically just a second for Hawkinson.
Vikings making a move, let me tell you.
Yeah, I mean, they're unfortunately 6-1. This makes them, have a much more powerful offense. Unfortunately, Hawkinson is a very good tight end. I still don't think he's the best. I think Kelsey or Mark Andrews takes that cake. But yeah, it's unfortunate for Packers fans because it makes, it just makes the Vikings just a little bit better.
Kirk Cousins is just like playing really well this year. And I don't know if you guys watched the game when they played against, I don't even know who they played, but he had like a really nice rushing touchdown.
Really? I didn't see that.
Dude, yeah. It kind of goes to show you how good your team can be if you actually add some weapons around your quarterback. Like Kirk Cousins is a very run-of-the-mill quarterback. He's a good quarterback. He can throw the ball. He can control a game. But he's surrounded by Justin Jefferson, and who's probably the best receiver in football, maybe the best receiver in football. It's like when you have a weapon like that, I mean, look at the Packers. They lose Devontae Adams, and now it's like they're like lost. It's like you need to have weapons, or otherwise you're not going to be able to pass the ball.
Yeah.
Especially in an NFL world that's controlled by top tier corners. If you can't beat man-to-man coverage and defensive only have to rush forward to be able to get to the quarterback, like you're in you're in a lot of trouble. But yeah,
Um,
Mike, you're 100% right though. I mean, Kirk Cousins is playing out of his mind right now. He is
It's
like
just
on a
not
different
good to
planet.
see. I freaking hate the Vikings.
He's his best when they're not playing in prime time. So, and all their games have
True.
been 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock games. So that's
So
prime for Kirk.
so are we gonna talk about so let I'm just gonna get my thoughts of the Packer game out right of the way. I thought
Before we go
season-
into that, should we talk a little trade deadline since we're already on that?
I mean, yeah, I guess we can. I really don't think the Packers are gonna get anybody.
You know, I have been seeing a little rumors on Twitter that they're trying for Claypool potentially, which would be awesome. Would absolutely love that.
I mean, I just don't know. I mean, Claypool's a good player, but I just don't know how much better he makes our team.
I mean, another really athletic, big guy.
Could be helpful. Could definitely be helpful. I haven't heard any other rumors. I mean, I haven't heard any. I literally haven't heard anything.
Brandon Cooks, I've heard, is on the block.
I mean, I've been hearing that though. That's nothing new, right?
I
That's
heard
true.
Alvin Kamara might be up and floating around. He had a really nice game with the Saints this past week as well. I'm not really sure
Interesting.
where
Yeah.
he can go. What team needs a running back right now? I mean, the Packers honestly.
Let's have the Packers take him. Why not? You know, trade
I mean,
Dillon.
I feel like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers could use a guy like Alvin Kamara.
Yeah. The Dolphins are apparently in the market for a running back, so I've heard links to Kareem Hunt going to the Dolphins for a 4th-round pick. That's his value tag right now as a 4th-round pick, and then also, you know, maybe Kamara could go to the Dolphins.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be interesting. I was just reading what Dan Campbell said about DeAndre Swift. He said we probably gave Swift one too many carries. He's not back, so maybe give one of those carries to Jamal. But I don't know. Again, that just reminds me, like Tyler, your Lions are off to another 1-6 start.
Hey,
Just
They're
as
not
I
my
predicted,
Lions.
just as I predicted, you guys had the biggest.
Okay,
hard-on
you
for the
can't
Lions
you
I've
can't
ever
claim
heard.
any predictions for NFL after you said Dolphins being the worst team in the league. So Tua is
I mean,
undefeated. Tua is undefeated when he's played. So
the Dolphins are good, but that was pretty much my only bad pick. And the Packers
so-
make it to the Super Bowl.
only bad pick, my ass.
What were my other bad picks?
I don't know. I just feel like it's been a constant stream.
No, I made some good ones. But anyway,
Hawkinson, best tight end in the league.
yeah, he's not. I would say he's not, but whatever. Anyway, my thoughts on the Packers is honestly this week, I think we have something to build off of. I mean, this game, we played the best team in football. This game was decided by like 3 or 4 plays. And it was a matter of, and I hope you listen to that podcast that I sent you, but it was a matter of 3 or 4 plays. You know, those 4th downs, if we kick a field goal instead of go for it, that's 9 points. Again, if, you know, we get that interception later on in the game and we don't turn the ball right back over to the other team and manage to score, that's another touchdown. If that penalty doesn't get negated, that horrible offensive pass interference call, if that doesn't get negated, we're driving to win the game. So, I mean, yes, we lost, but I think having over 200 yards on the ground against the best rush defense in football is very impressive. And I think that's what makes me so frustrated is if we ran this script against the last 3 teams we played, we'd probably win every one of those games. We probably beat the Giants. We for sure beat the Giants. We had a 17-point lead, and we for sure beat the Commanders. If you're keeping the ball on the ground and you're running that hard, I mean, I don't think either of those 2 teams, the Jets, they beat us pretty good. So I don't know, but I feel like if we would have used this script against some of the less inferior teams to the Bills, I really feel like we would have had a chance to win those games and it'd be having a different story. But we only got outpassed by them by only like 20 yards too.
Didn't Aaron Jones average like 7 yards a carry this game?
Yep, he had 148 yards on the ground on 20 carries.
Well,
AJ Dillon added another like 50 yards to that. So I mean, again, I thought the Packers actually played with a lot of heart. And I think before we sit here and try to crucify our defensive coordinator, maybe we should start thinking about Brian Gutekunst because he's the one who's putting these players in these spots. Like,
Yep.
to be honest, our defensive line, you spend a first-round draft pick on Devontae Wyatt. He can't get on the field. You draft Quay Walker as your first overall pick in the draft. You know he's bad against the run defense. So why is that a surprise to you that he can't fit in with the run? Darnell Savage can't make a fucking tackle to save his life. Adrian Amos looks horrible out there. Like our defensive coordinator can't go out there and play for the guys. I mean, if you're getting blown off the line, I mean, I don't know.
I agree.
thought.
No, I think, we have the number 1 pass defense in the league. Yeah, our rush defense is really struggling. We've, Devondre Campbell went out this game. Who else did we lose? We lost another.
Quay Walker. What a
Quay Walker got
horrible.
ejected.
That was so bad.
Stupid.
Did you guys see that play? I know Quay Walker was, I think, trying to make a tackle out of bounds.
He shoved a
And
coach.
he shoved one of the Bills coaches. And it's like, I was like, maybe they were chirping at him or something like that. I don't know what the audio is. But like you look at the replays and it looked like this Bills coach was honestly trying to help Quay Walker like up because he was on the ground. Like he wasn't, not like he was shoving him. Like Quay Walker just absolutely shoved. It was horrible. I think once again, just one of the mental mistakes from the Packers team that could completely have been avoidable if we just acted smart and thought smart.
Yep.
That really pissed me off because when Campbell went down, like I said, one of our linebackers was like a special teams guy and he never had a snap on defense until that game. So
Yeah, I really think Goody needs to go if we don't make a move at the deadline, a few moves. Like we clearly have a hole at wide receiver. We clearly have holes in the run defense. We need to make a move. And it just shows a lack of like urgency if they're not making a move. Like we still have a chance to, make the playoffs. We still have a chance, when you have Aaron Rodgers, you have a chance for anything. So that's just how I feel. Goody needs to go if we can move.
I just want to put this into perspective. So Brian Gutekunst, since he's gotten here, has drafted Jordan Love, drafting a quarterback there. I guess people have a lot of mixed opinions about it. You could say either like, okay, you got to get your guy somewhere. If you feel like that was your guy of the future, that was your guy. Whatever, so be it. We had a Super Bowl talented roster. Since he's drafted Rashad Gary, his picks have been ass. Eric Stokes, horrible. Darnell Savage, horrible. Eric Stokes is getting benched midway through the season. He got benched because he's fucking terrible. Darnell Savage can't make a tackle to save his life. Quay Walker can't play the run. Devontae Wyatt can't even get on the field. So like you valued these guys, and then on top of that, instead of trading Rodgers when he's worth the entire world, you keep him with a poorly constructed team, and now he looks terrible. His trade value is gone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't now he might retire after the end of the year. Now you're in this position of like, do we go all in while Rodgers is still here and we're paying him $50 million a fucking year? Or do we sell and just wave the white flag, pretty much guaranteed that Goody gets fired, and say, wave the white flag to Rodgers, monstrous contract, and just be in the spot? You know what I mean? Like he got us in a very awkward spot because our team is just not good enough to contend with like clearly like a Bills team, or you know what I mean? Like the Bills are going to beat us 9 times out of 10 times they play us. My opinion. But I don't know, just awkward spot.
I thought there was one bright spot was with Romeo Dobbs had an awesome touchdown catch where literally the defender's hand was like in his chest and he was able to bring down that ball. I thought that was a little bit of a bright spot.
Yeah.
Watson getting injured again, like after a couple of
Horrible.
plays.
He got concussed. That was just
I
bad.
feel bad.
That was just a bad one.
I feel bad for him. I think our offense looks pretty good. I really do. I mean, we were running the ball. We outgained them in yards. We outgained them in first downs. We dominated time of possession. I mean, it was a couple of horrible calls that flipped us, and I think that was that. But our defense, I mean, yeah, we only allowed 3 points in the second half, but the Bills looked truly unstoppable the whole first half. And just this run defense is going to, if we don't address this, I mean, this is a serious gaping issue.
Yeah, I do like, we were able to control the ball on the ground a lot, but when we're playing like an explosive offense like the Bills or the Chiefs or any other team that has deep threats for that matter, it's going to be hard to compete in a shootout because I still don't think all the pieces are there for us to like run a 2-minute drill. Like taking a look at our hurry up offense, people just didn't really seem to be on the same page. But that's my 2 cents on the Packers. Ty, you got anything else?
Yeah, I was just trying, while you guys were chatting there, I was trying to find, I was looking a little bit at the draft of, players that were picked before and after us. And, with Devontae Wyatt, being taken like 28th, and what do we take Quay, early 20s. I really was wondering why we didn't take Jermaine Johnson, that outside linebacker, the rusher. But I mean, realistically looking at it, like those were probably good picks.
I don't think Quay Walker is a bad pick.
Yeah.
But as the general manager, you have to think you can't sit there and crucify Quay Walker for not being able to fit the run defense. He was not a good run defender in college, so he's not going to be a good run defender in the NFL. That's just a reality. And like Devontae Wyatt, maybe he'll be good in a couple of years, but it's tough for a defensive lineman. Like a couple snaps all year.
Jesus.
And Darnell Savage, he is like a mirror image of HaHa Clinton Dix. Like he had one good year, and then he's dropped off a table. He can't cover anybody. He can't tackle anybody. I don't know. Amos is like on an island out there.
And Jair,
it's so brutal.
Talking shit to Diggs before and after the game, and then they were talking to him after the game, like, "Oh, so what was that whole thing with you and Stefan?" Stefan said, he got the last laugh or whatever, and shit doesn't matter. And he's like, "I'm gonna need some clarification," like still not backing down. I'm like, dude, you just got wrecked. Like, can you just like show some humility here?
Yeah,
but that's like acting all tough, like I'm the best.
Jair is the best. He owns the Bills. He allowed 0 completions on 6 targets last night and had an interception.
I think Diggs said it right though. He was talking about how that shit doesn't matter, the 1v1 stuff. He's like, in the end of it, it's a team sport. Individual shit doesn't matter. We won, they didn't, and my team won. And Jair, all he cared about was himself. He didn't even mention the Packers losing. So that's where I'm at. I think a lot of these guys are like Jair. I don't know. I just feel like he's all about himself.
So I saw that video before the game. A little bit, I'm going to put it on Stefan Diggs. He's coming out of the Packers tunnel to jog with Jair. Like Stefan Diggs, like he's a very lovable guy, but I know he had some like attitude problems when he was on the Vikings, and that might have been part of why they traded
Jair
him.
said that he started it. Like Jair.
Oh, really? And the thing is, Max, you made the comment Jair Alexander like allowed 0 receptions, or he didn't cover Stefan Diggs once. He was not in coverage with Stefan at all. And Stefan Diggs had a good game. And if Jair Alexander is our best corner, why aren't we putting them on the best matchup for the best wide receiver on the other team? That just
LaFleur gave a pretty detailed explanation about that. He said
I could care less.
He said that you can't play man-to-man defense when you have a quarterback like Josh Allen that can run so well.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
If you're matching every guy up 1-to-1, you need that. You can't. Josh Allen is bigger, faster, and stronger than half of our linebackers. So it's like if you just have like a linebacker spy on Josh Allen, he's still going to be able to burn them. You need to play his zone defense because you need to be able to have eyes on him at all times. Otherwise, you're just going to get burned. You can't have 4 cornerbacks keeping their backs to the quarterback when a guy like Josh Allen's running. But it still leads me to question why Jair wasn't at least shadowing them more. It's weird.
That was a very good explanation, and I'm just going to act like I didn't hear that and hold to my previous thought of you should have just covered him.
Yeah, Mike, they should make you the defensive coordinator of the Green Bay Packers. Very effective
Have a
immediately.
headset on him.
I'd be like, hey, guys,
Miser-
why don't we just try tackling the quarterback more often? That's going to be my strategy.
They should just make Darnell Savage do tackling drills all week. Did you guys see the highlights of his missed tackle on Josh Allen on that like 3rd and 20?
No,
Oh my God. It was, I couldn't believe that he was a professional safety. It was, look it up after this. Like, look up Darnell Savage missed tackle on Josh Allen. It is the worst thing I've ever seen. He's like, it's like 3rd and 16 at like the Packers 30-yard line, and they need to get a stop to get off the field. Darnell Savage just comes sprinting at Josh Allen. He just moves left a little bit, and Darnell Savage like runs through like, it's like, what are you doing? It was so stupid.
yeah. Should we do a little recap of the NFL week?
Yeah, can we touch on the Falcons-Panthers game? The
That was
Falcons
fucking
being
wild.
first in the NFC South with their record of 4-4. Did you guys catch like the last couple, like literally 2 minutes of that game?
PJ Walker's throw was like literally they're saying it might be one of the best of all time. The one he
Yeah,
had
that's what
in-
Mahomes said on Twitter. I want to
Wasn't
say
it like 70 air yards?
I believe it. I believe it. It was a hell of a chuck. But
The best
DJ
show of all
Moore-
time was Rodgers against the Cardinals in the playoffs. Easily.
Oh, okay. But
Easily.
DJ Moore, so DJ Moore goes down the field, makes that beautiful touchdown with, I don't know, were there like 10 seconds left or something in the game? Decides to freaking take his helmet off, gets the 15-yard penalty, missed the extra point, go to OT, and the Falcons outlasted. Oh,
Yeah, that was definitely pretty dumb. DJ Moore. Also, that kicker, he missed that 48-yarder extra point to win, and then he missed a 33-yarder in overtime. So
Yeah.
the kicker, Pinheiro, should be on the hot seat.
Pinheiro, was he the double doink guy on the Bears in the playoffs?
That sounds familiar.
He could have been Mr. Double Doink if I remember correctly.
But yeah, brutal loss for the Panthers. Even though honestly, things are looking up for them. PJ Walker's honestly looked really good. Their offense since McCaffrey left for some reason has been potent as fuck. This week, Deontay Foreman had like 150 yards and 3 touchdowns. Their backup run that was the backup to McCaffrey. He's absolutely going off. He had like over 100 last week too. The receivers are starting to step up, it's just weird because like McCaffrey you would think was their best player, and now their offense is kind of rolling.
It's like the Panthers, I think it's pretty safe to say they're not going to be a playoff contender, but they're scrappy. I feel like they can edge out a couple wins.
They're almost first in their division. If they would have won, they would have been first in their division.
That would have been awesome to have a 3-5 team first place in the division or whatever their record is, 3-4. They would have been.
That would have been nuts.
Oh my gosh.
Another one that we could touch on, Buccaneers.
I'd like to wait really quick. I'd like to say something.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Are you gonna say it, or are we gonna have to cut you off?
I would say one team that is starting to scare me a little bit. And I don't mean like scare like as in right now, but I mean scare as like in the next coming years are the Bears.
You want to
The
touch on the
Bears-
Cowboys game?
The Bears, yes. The Bears, again, they got killed by
I
the
agree,
Cowboys,
Max.
but they have put up 30 points back-to-back weeks now. They destroyed New England last week in New England. They put up a lot of points against the Bears. And what scares me is I always thought Justin Fields was going to be good when they drafted him, but they're finally starting to play to his strengths. And as a Bear, if I was a Bears fan, I fucking hate the Bears. But if I was a Bears fan, I'd be pretty damn excited about what's going on offensively for the Bears. They haven't seen this type of offense in 3 years. And that's no joke.
I got a few things to say about that, Max. I was gonna bring that up. I 100% agree with you. They just traded Roquan Smith for some more draft picks. I'm pretty sure they have 9 draft picks next year. They
Such a
have
good trade. Such a good trade.
they have so many draft picks for next year. They also have like the most cap space of any team. I think I saw it was over $200 million of cap space for next year. So they have the ability to sign, because obviously they have no receivers. They're gonna, sign some receivers, beef up that line. Their running backs, they have Khalil Herbert, who's looked amazing. David Montgomery is a good running back. Fields is finally starting to come into his own. He's putting up the numbers. Yeah, they're not really winning because they don't have a lot to surround him, but Fields is starting to look good, which is
Dude,
scary for our division.
And I'm telling you, like, I feel like it's going to be a pretty damn quick rebuild for the Bears because, like, they'll get a couple like first round draft picks. They might draft like a stud receiver, or like they'll make draft a couple stud defenders. And next thing you know, or they might go out and trade for a receiver. Like, look at the Dolphins. Like, everybody thought Tua was going to be terrible, and then they trade for Tyreek Hill, and Tua's like unbelievable. Like, if the Bears added a guy like a Devontae Adams or like a big name like a DeAndre Hopkins or something, I think the Bears offense, they already got a great running back. That Montgomery kid is pretty damn good.
Yeah, and
If
Herbert looks like the literal best running back, like the best backup, and he would be like a good starter on a lot of teams too.
Yeah. I just think that they're in a position that they could start taking off in the next year or two.
I'm gonna slightly disagree with you two on them trying to beef up their offense. Their weakest point right now is the defense. You gave up.
Oh, they have the worst receivers in the league, Mike. It's not even close. They have no one.
Well, yeah, you can score 50 points a game, but if you're giving up like 7 touchdowns like they did this past week against the Cowboys, it's gonna be tough to win any game.
True.
Like, their run defense and pass defense they're probably in the bottom third for all NFL teams.
You know what's weird about that though, Mike? To say like you're 100% right, but I also say the Bears defense is actually, it hasn't been something that they've been like, wow, this is like clearly one of the worst defenses in football. Like, I mean, now they're trading away Roquan Smith and they're clearly selling some of their assets on defense. But at the beginning of the year, they were like a top 15 defense, which is not
All right.
great, but it's run of the mill.
So for their defensive rankings, oh, that's 2016. Why the hell? 2016 article.
Yeah, Brad
Tyler's gonna pull up.
Urlacher, the best Bears defensive position.
That's what you get for going on Microsoft Bing, boys.
Bing? You use Bing?
My laptop is a Microsoft, so it like defaults to fucking Bing.
Does anybody still use Bing? I think I used it once when I was like in 5th.
I used to use it all the time just because I felt cool, not
being a Google guy. I
Yeah.
thought Bing was really cool when it first came out. Like, being in grade school, going to the computer labs just to Bing things, and I'm like, oh, look at that.
yeah.
And
All right, defense. Let's see where the Bears rank among defense. So they're giving up 6.8 yards per attempt on passing. 9 interceptions, which is honestly in the upper.
That's not bad.
9 interceptions is top. The highest is 11. 7 passing TDs. That can't be right.
What about points allowed per game? I mean, you just gave up 49 to the Cowboys, which are a great team.
Scoring.
But
I wish
I think the Cowboys came out to like a 21-7 or 21-0 lead. I think they scored. They had 4 consecutive drives that resulted in touchdowns. I don't care what team you are. That's just not great defense.
Yeah.
if they're looking like the Martin Luther Spartans defense, Mike, in our time,
Oh,
every handoff we'd allow like a 60-yard gain. Oh my God, it hurts to laugh.
I'll tell you what, they are not in the top 20. The Bears defense.
Do you guys want to cover any other games that were going on? I know Mr. Unlimited got his dub in London. That was a pretty sloppy, boring game.
All right, before we move on, Bears are ranked 29th defense overall. 60.3 grade. Yeah, 29th ranked. So 3rd worst. It's pretty bad.
I'd like to say one team that I just continue to be impressed with. I think the best coach in the league, and I don't think it's close, the Titans. Mike Vrabel is,
He's not the best coach, but
I think he's a
not a bad take.
amazing coach. What?
It's not a bad take.
I think he's an amazing coach. The Titans always are playing to their strengths. They're always a relevant team. Even when you think that they're down, they're still really tough to beat. They lose AJ Brown, and they're still just playing to their strengths and feeding another one of my good takes. The beast, Derrick Henry, the best running back in the league.
Yeah, the Titans. are good.
Just
I think I have two. If we're going to talk best coaches in the league, I have two other arguments for that. Nick Sirianni with the Eagles.
Sure.
To do what he's done with them, 7-0.
I mean, he's been there 2 years.
No one
though.
thought that. No one thought that. You gotta make an argument for him being the best coach right now. Him or Brian Dable.
But they're only. I mean, I maybe are you talking like right now, because they clearly haven't had long enough tenures to prove themselves. You know
Yeah,
what I
no,
mean? Like,
I'd say right now, like you can make an argument for Nick Sirianni.
Brian Dable's been a head coach for 6 weeks. I mean, he's out to a good start, but we can't call him the best coach in the league.
I guess I was more so going for right now, but I see what you're saying.
Back to your Titans, though. Can we touch on that for a second?
Yeah.
So I think the Titans are always going to be the AFC South fraud kings. I mean, yeah, they're going to win the division. You realize they have the Colts, the Jags, and the Texans in their division. They make the playoffs every year, and then they lose like in the first round. Yes, Derrick Henry is awesome. Ryan Tannehill can have his streaks of looking like a very decent quarterback, but I just can't ever see them being a Super Bowl contender. They're fun to watch. Derrick Henry, it's always fun to watch Derrick Henry and Tractorcito season, but
I think they're a quarterback away from being a Super Bowl contender. I think if they got like a top tier quarterback in there, like even like if they drafted a really good quarterback, I don't think Malik Willis is the answer, but maybe he could be. But even if they got a guy like Justin Herbert or Tua or something like that, like a guy that they drafted that's just a dog, they could end up being a contender.
Yeah, but you are right. With the puzzle pieces that they have, the fact that they can win their division every year and have a winning record, like not every NFL team can put the pieces that they have together to win a division year in and year out. So I'll give you that.
I think that Vrabel is just a master at playing to your strengths. Like,
sure.
Like the Packers should, I'm telling you, if the Packers would have played like they did against the Bills the last 3 weeks, I'm almost 95% sure we go 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Jones is our strength. Derrick Henry is the Titan strength. They give him the ball 30 times a game. Look at what happened when we gave Aaron Jones 25 touches. Like, it's not brain surgery, dude. He's our playmaker. Get him the ball. It's not Rodgers anymore. It's Aaron Jones. Get him the ball. It's not that fucking hard.
Yeah.
But our run game, it's very promising. It's very promising. You have to think, though, the Packers got to go 7-9, right? They got to go 7-9 the rest of the way. They can only lose 2 more games.
Who?
The Packers.
Yikes.
They got to go 7-9 to have a chance. And I mean, it's doable. I mean, can somebody pull up our schedule?
There's 17 games in a year. That doesn't add up.
Oh, yeah. No, they got to go 5. No, wait. How many? So they would have.
They're 3-5.
8.
How does that only lead to 2 more losses? That would put us at 7 losses.
Yeah, 10-7.
All right. Well, you said 7-9. The Packers.
You said 7-9 with 2 more losses, and that would.
No. I'm sorry. I meant we can only afford 2 more losses, so we have to go 7-2 the rest of the way.
Ah,
that's what I meant to say. Sorry.
7-2 to go 10-7. I want to get a graphic of this in live time to see how like the math worked out on this equation.
You have to think we have to win out on our divisional games. We play the Lions twice. We play the Bears. We play the Vikings. We have to win out there. Then we got, who else do we have here? We got the Lions next week. That you would hope would be a win.
If we don't beat the Lions,
We got to beat the Cowboys at home is going to be a must win. We'll have to win that game. That's week 10. The Titans at home, you got to win that game too. And then that leaves you the ability to lose in Philadelphia. And then you got the Bears on the road. You got to beat them. And then you got the Rams at home. So it's like
Rams aren't looking great.
you got to beat all those teams. And then you got the Dolphins on the road. So that's going to be a tough game too. So, I mean, if you allow losses, 2 road losses to the Eagles and Dolphins the rest of the way, you got to win the rest of them. I don't think you get in at 8-9-8. I think you have to go at least 10-7 to get in.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other games you want to touch on? I have.
Yeah, one more that I wanted to just say.
Yeah.
I don't have to say much about it. Megalodon.
Yes, dude. Go ahead. Let me hear your thoughts on the Bucs.
Buccaneers, man.
This game was almost
That
a
man,
win.
Brady just looks washed. I mean, he's getting divorced. He's just a train wreck right now. Buccaneers are a train wreck.
I'm gonna say watch out for the Bucs. Tom Brady doesn't have to deal with the ins and outs of Giselle anymore.
He just gets to focus on football and his
He's a new
kids.
man. Focus on his kids in football. There
No
was a
women.
take.
Just straight up football and kids and family. But
I mean, what if he absolutely just starts lighting it up and his receivers start catching balls?
I mean, I could see that happening.
So
Tom Brady.
what-
they'll
what- what
probably
I'm-
make the playoffs and somehow win it all this year.
that'd be
what I'm
crazy.
going to say about the Buccaneers is that to everybody who always says, like, just keep everybody back together, re-sign everybody, like, bring them back, run it back all the time. Like, that strategy doesn't always work. Like, sometimes mixing it up and letting guys walk and bringing on new guys is a good thing for teams. The Buccaneers are a classic example. Over the last 3 years, they just wanted to keep it all together ever since their Super Bowl. Like, keep it all together, keep it all together, keep it all together. And now they got like the same team with a bunch of guys that are old and underperforming and look like shit. Leonard Fournette looks like shit. Tom Brady looks like shit. Mike Evans looks like shit. Chris Godwin looks like shit. Everybody looks horrible. Their offensive line is terrible. Their defense is underperforming. I mean, they're a mess. I don't even know they're in a much worse spot than the Packers are, in my opinion. Because they got everybody healthy. Everybody's healthy.
Damn, Leonard
We have
Fournette's
no
on
receivers to begin with.
He's averaging 3.4 yards a carry this year. Leonard.
Dude, they got Godwin, Chris Evans. They got Godwin and Chris Evans. Mike Evans. They got Chris Godwin and Mike Evans all on the same team. The Packers don't have anybody at receiver. We had Lazard out, and we still put up a fight against the Bills. The Buccaneers are getting blown out with a full healthy team against the fucking Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
So
They got the problem.
I don't necessarily agree with that take, Max, of keeping the same guys together take. So with that logic, if we kept Devontae Adams, the Packers would be in a worse situation than they are now?
No, I'm just saying, like, when guys like Devontae Adams was not a free agent. So like, when the Buccaneers won the Super Bowl and like they had like a bunch of free agents, instead of like letting guys walk and like bringing on new guys, they re-signed everybody, which it's not always a bad thing, but I'm just saying that sometimes that doesn't always work out in your benefit. Now you got a bunch of guys that are still stuck in this like Super Bowl playoff fantasy land, and they're just wildly underperforming. Devontae Adams, we tried to keep him. We offered him more money than the Raiders did.
Okay,
He just probably hated Rodgers. I don't know.
but yeah, Tom Brady, new man, new never know. Maybe he's gonna bounce back.
We'll see. We'll see.
All right, let's just
I
touch.
can't
Let's
even
just
talk on
touch
the Steelers
briefly.
this week. I couldn't. I was hiking 10 miles during that game, so I'm glad. I mean, I'm glad I didn't watch it.
Yeah, the Steelers game, yeah, not a great one. Like the fact that
AJ Brown 3 touchdowns in the first half. Yeah, just
I
think of Fitzpatrick getting just absolutely wrecked.
Yeah, it was just a sad game. I remember watching a little bit of the first half of that Eagles Steelers game, and where was it? Which Brown was it? Was it Antonio or Julio or Joe? I don't
AJ?
even know. What's that?
You talking about the Eagles?
Yeah,
AJ Brown.
AJ Brown with his 3 touchdowns in the first half. That was just disrespectful to the Steelers.
Yeah, he was mossing everyone.
All right, Max, you wanted to pivot?
Yeah, I mean, let's just touch briefly on the NBA. I mean, not the Bucks are really good. I mean, the Bucks are unstoppable.
They don't even have
Giannis.
Middleton or Connaughton.
Yeah, Giannis is playing.
Fuck. Breaking groin, huge breaking groin.
Wait. Let me go to Twitter. Hold on.
The Bears just got fucking Chase Claypool.
Ooh.
Oh,
You heard it here.
why did the
first.
Packers get him? No, fuck.
Wait.
Hold on,
Wow.
I'm getting a breaking groin from Andrew Edwards. You want to say something about this trade? Come here.
Oh,
Come say something.
well, no, I'm still in my pajamas.
That's
But,
okay. We're all in shit clothes. What do you have to say?
no, I don't want to be on camera.
Okay, then what do you have to say?
Was not expecting the Bears to trade for a receiver after all that draft capital though, but
Yeah,
that is insane. And
fuck. The Packers. I mean, he clearly was on the trade block. Why didn't the
one less
Packers get him?
receiver for the Packers?
Fuck. No. Oh, that's so frustrating.
Who called you with that news, Ty?
I was getting a call from Schefter.
Oh,
He's like, I sent in the voicemail and he just ended up texting me.
got it. Yeah, that's right.
Fucking a second round pick. Why didn't the Packers trade for him? A second round pick is worth it. He's 24. He's 6'5". I mean,
Oh, you hate to see it. Max is just out in a depressed state right now.
Thank you, Brand.
But yeah, the Bucks 6-0, as in the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis is doing great. There was an interview he had, I think, a couple days ago, where the reporter said something in the manner of, Giannis, you've been scoring so many points. Your last 4-game stretch has been the most points you've ever scored in your entire career. And Giannis's reaction was, really? Oh, damn, I'm owning everyone, or something to that nature. It was awesome.
that's awesome. I
Love
love it.
Giannis, national
But,
treasure.
yeah,
And he
we
was
don't have
trick-or-treating
Middleton right
last
now.
weekend. And
Huh?
I think he was wearing like a Paw Patrol costume or
Yep.
something. It was awesome.
Trick or treating with some random kids in Mequon. But not having Middleton and Connaughton, like, and the fact that we're freaking undefeated is insane.
I love that, man. Maybe we'll have to turn into a basketball podcast after the next couple of weeks. Packers NFL season doesn't turn
Well,
around.
this is what we do. We talk about what's relevant and the intellectual idiots, and we give our groundbreaking takes. Tyler, that's
Listen,
some.
I always have I got the inside scoop with with Woj and Schefter. So,
Guys.
you should be following us if you want the breaking news.
Yeah,
We're
they
gonna-
got Ty on speed dial.
We're getting close to wrapping this thing up. But I
Yeah.
will say this: the last thing I'm going to say. Why did anybody think that the Packers are going to make a move at the deadline? They never do. So why would this is the Packers? This is what we've seen from them for years after year after year after year. They never do anything at the deadline.
We literally
They're the most entitled team in the entire world.
they have
And
no balls.
Mark Murphy is the biggest clown on the face of the earth. The comments that he made about Rodgers too, like about in 2020, 2021, like were just weird.
Well,
Like when we were trying to get him back.
I'm frustrated as hell.
I don't think that the Packers are going to make a move. I really don't.
And if they don't, like, the season is just all is lost.
And guess what? Guess what? Get used to this too. They won't make a move, and guess what? Gutekunst won't go anywhere because that's not the Packer way. Gutekunst will be there for another 10 years not making moves. I can promise you that. It'll be another 10 years of defensive draft picks and not making moves at the deadline and not trading for anybody to help your team. That's what the Packers are known for. They'd rather develop a a 4th round pick and have every wide receiver be a Donald Driver project than trade for anybody good.
Yep, it's tough, but here we are. Just talking about how the Bears are just killing it, and then they go and get a young receiver who's a stud to boost their offense, and they still have the 8 draft picks next year.
Yeah, I mean,
Tough
before we
stuff.
get too depressed, I think we should probably wrap this thing up. Anyway,
Go
one thing
Bucks.
that I will say on a good note is go Bucks. The Bucks are fucking killing it, and the Bucks talk is going to just keep ramping up here going forward. You know, Bucks are fantastic. Giannis is on a different level. Drew Holiday, Giannis, and Brook Lopez are all getting, and they're qualified as MVP candidates right now. All 3 of those guys. Brook Lopez is an MVP candidate right now, 6 games into the year.
RIP to our game, Max.
To what?
RIP to Wednesday.
Oh, you know, I mean, if I probably wouldn't even be able to go at all. Probably wouldn't have been able to go anyway. If I test positive, I can't go anywhere.
For sure. All right,
And
boys.
if
It was a good episode. Mike, you got
By
any
the-
last thoughts?
What?
You got any last thoughts?
My last thoughts is if it's a butts for candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas.
Oh, I hate to hear that.
But
My last thoughts are Packers country. Let's ride.
That just made me vomit in my mouth a little bit, but
Packers country. Let's ride.
don't want to hear that ever again. But all right, boys, good episode. Let's cut
Cheers.
it. Hot out.